Super Cool Radio is here at Motoblot. I'm on the inside stage here at the Cobra Lounge. There we go. I just finished rocking out with a great musician joining me at this time from right here in Chicago. Please welcome Iris Marlowe.
Hi, everybody.
It's very nice to see you live. As I was telling you earlier, you've been on my radar for a little bit, so I'm actually happy to see you live here at Motoblot.
Thank you for having me.
How's it been at Motoblot so far?
Really fun. We were really excited to open the day. Everybody's been really sweet and nice, and all the ongoers have been really appreciative, and we're a little bit outlandish and a little eccentric, so it's always nice when people...
I enjoyed it.
It's always nice when people understand and they vibe with it, you know?
And I like, because okay, so for me, I listen to mostly rock, punk, and metal. But you, so obviously more country, but you guys got some rock elements in there as well.
Yeah, so a couple of our bandmates, they were ex-metalheads, so we have incorporated my love of
that makes
classic...
sense. That makes sense now.
We've incorporated my love of classic country music and have mixed in kind of horror elements because I love horror films, and we've kind of intertwined all these things we all enjoy and created our own sound.
Well, I saw the ghost face purse, and that looked awesome.
And yeah.
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
Me too.
Because Matthew Lillard is phenomenal.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Icon legend, Matthew Lillard.
That's right. Hopefully he's watching this. Anyway.
Please.
But I did. So I saw it in your Instagram bio, and you mentioned this on stage. So you guys are the Devil's favorite country band. So how did that come about? And for anyone not familiar, how would you explain that?
So we are a Southern Gothic country band that intertwines horror, metal, rock, and there's a lot of country musicians that have sort of a persona and kind of, I'm the rhinestone cowboy, for example, or I'm this or this. And I was like, well, we need a persona, and we are the Devil's favorite country band because it seems like a lot of metal spaces or rock places, they tend to like us and they tend to include us more, which is really awesome. So we kind of came up with this moniker that we're the Devil's favorite country band just because,
I like it. I like it. I saw that on your Instagram bio. I was like, I definitely want to talk about this. But no, it's awesome because you guys definitely combine so many different elements with your music. It's not just country music. Again, you have so much gothic and even some metal and rock influence in there as well. So I very much enjoy it. I always like the little bit of the unorthodox, and I always appreciate it.
Yeah, it's I grew up in an extremely Catholic family, so breaking away from that, I was like, how can I put that into my art a little bit more? So, and also there's a campy element of just, a satanic cowboy band, it's a little camp and it's fun.
Oh, definitely. Also, I think that'd be a great movie, by the way, Santana Cowboy.
I think so too. I'll get on it.
Very good. Well, but I did want to talk about, so the set for Motoblot, I very much enjoyed it. So how was it putting together the set for Motoblot?
So for a venue like this, where the crowd is probably going to gear towards more heavier songs or a little bit more upbeat, we take away some of our more classical, traditional country music. We have a couple of more folksy songs intertwined with all the madness. So today we just went straight madness. We're here we go, just heavy, running around on stage, diving around. That's what we went for today. Just upbeat energy, as much fun as possible today. And a little scary.
Oh, definitely. But it was so much fun. You guys definitely kept the energy, and a great way to kick off the third day of Motoblot. So I'm curious, the cover at the end, do you guys usually perform that live?
Yes. Okay. So we've been performing Red Right Hand for about a year and a half, and I'm a huge Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds fan. I have a Red Right Hand tattoo. He's nice. A huge reason I've got into making music. So getting to kind of pay an homage to somebody I really look up to is really special for the set. And I typically don't like doing covers, but having that, it's so different than the original. It kind of feels like a reinvention of it of sorts. So it's really fun to put that in the set. And typically it's a song that people don't think they know until you start singing. And then they're like, oh yeah, Red Right Hand, Oh,
definitely. No, you guys did an awesome job of it, and definitely putting your own unique twist on it is always something I appreciate, because covering something exactly how I understand that, but also I always like when bands kind of just put a different spin on it. To me, I find it more fun.
Yeah, I thought making it sort of like a heavier version, and where there's like 2 kind of like drops in where we just kind of go manic on stage. It's a little different than like the original's very kind of like even flow. And I was like, we're going to add like some chaos into it to make it a little bit different.
Oh, definitely. Well, you guys did an awesome job.
Thank you. I
with it.
appreciate it. It's one of our favorites.
Definitely one of my favorites. Next to Piss Poor Man, which is fantastic, by the way.
I wasn't sure if I should play that today because it's a little bit more of like country.
Yeah,
so I was like, well, we'll just put it in the mix.
I think people were appreciating it. I definitely did.
Yeah, Piss Poor Example of a Man is like one of our like staples in the sets. People either really love it or they're like offended. And that's kind of, that's a good
That's
sign
a good
of
in
art
between to have.
sometimes. It's like, if you're offended, it's about you, that's how I take it.
Oh, exactly. But also, I did want to discuss, I really liked your black and red guitar.
Thank you.
So, what model is that?
So, model. It is a Telecaster. I don't know what year. It is actually my guitarist's guitar. Typically, I actually play an acoustic. Oh, okay. I usually play an acoustic black Takamine guitar. And today I actually played the Fender that he brought. And it is, it's definitely a guitar I've played at multiple shows. The year it's escaping me. But it is my favorite electric guitar to play.
It looks sick. I love the black and red. I thought it looked
the red pickup guard is really fun.
Yes.
And I was like, it matches the outfit. Let's just go. And I thought the acoustic guitar would be like maybe a little too country to bring today. So I was like, let's get heavier today.
Oh, definitely. Well, I think this is a good day for you as well because I know they do a lot of like rockabilly bands on Sundays as well. So you fit in very well with that.
Yeah, we've opened for Jenny Don't twice now, and she's one of my favorite acts ever. So I'm really excited that she's back and I get to see her again. And Mozzie D, I'm really excited to see her. I've never seen her before, but I'm very stoked to see her.
I'm too. Hopefully, I get to catch them before I head out today. But Motoblot always brings in some of the best bands, and I discover so many new bands just by covering this event and talking to people and doing interviews and stuff. They put on a phenomenal event. But I do got a few more things before we head out. So a question I've been asking my guests this season, I wasn't going to start with this, but I'm going to include this in now. So if you could have dinner with any 2 musicians, living or deceased, who would they be?
Oh my God, Amy Winehouse.
Nice.
Like first and foremost, Amy Winehouse, 100%. And then I was going to say Johnny Cash, but I actually think Orville Peck. I would love to have dinner with Orville Peck.
Nice. First person, I like the first person to say that one.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Huge influence to me, and Amy Winehouse as well. So they would be, I think Amy would bring the fun and Orville would bring even more fun, I think. And mystery.
Definitely. So like growing up, so like what like musicians or like music got you into pursuing music yourself?
So when I was younger, I grew up in the middle of nowhere. The original town I lived in had maybe 400 people. And then I moved to another town, the big town that had 1,000. And so I come from literally country. Dad's a farmer, families are farmers. So I grew up with a lot of classic country music just because my grandfather introduced me. So like Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn. So I grew up with a lot of those influences. But then as I got older, I became hyper fixated on like scary movies, and it's like all I cared about. And then I became like obsessed with like, the classic Universal monster movies. So as I kind of got older, I stopped listening to traditional country music, and then I became a pop girly. So there's a level of like camp I appreciate that I've like brought into like my music, even if it's not pop. But as I've gotten older, my influences are still like I've gone back to the traditional country, but also like Black Sabbath is like a huge inspiration, and like Orville Peck, of course, and Casey Musgraves. But it's like a mix of like the hyper feminine and also like the like kind of like fearful, I guess.
That all makes a lot of sense now, like listening to your music and now hearing like what inspired you, because you throw in like everything you just described, like you throw in elements with all of your music, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, like there's like times on stage where I get to be a little bit more like campy, like when we sing Brimstone Cowboy, it's more of like a little like waltzier, and I get to be like a character a little bit more. But then there's other songs where I'm like kind of trying to bring out this sort of like demonic presence more than like a campy kind.
No, yeah, definitely. And it goes with the song that you match the vibe of the song very well with whatever you're doing, camp or summoning demons or anything like that.
I'm always doing that.
Well, I mean, good way to spend time, I guess.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. So before we head out, so another question I'm gonna ask my guests this season because I'm always curious. So do you approach mentally prepare differently to perform live compared to recording music?
I love performing live. I'm notoriously nervous when it comes to in-studio stuff because I think I embrace the imperfection on stage, but in studio, I embrace the perfection. So there's kind of a level of professionalism in the studio that I have to I almost feel like it's not that I'm holding back. It's more that I want perfection on my end of it. So I get more nervous doing recordings and I feel less, I'd rather be on stage and looking at people instead of in a booth where I'm looking at the microphone and you think about am I too loud? Am I are the levels correct? There's just more anxiousness that comes with recording. I love playing on stage. Recording, I'm a little bit of a nervous wreck.
That's what people have been telling me lately, and I think it's goes from you can improv stuff better on stage. Your recording studio, it's got to sound right, or people are gonna notice it.
Right.
So that if you have more leeway to play stuff off if you're on the stage.
Yeah, on stage, if you mess up, no one else can really tell while you're playing. But in a studio recording, if you play the wrong note, that's the one thing you'll hear. Or I've tried to really embrace being a little bit more relaxed when it comes to my performance in studio. We recorded our last album in March. And we did it all live, which was the first time I've ever recorded an album that way. So I was you know what? The imperfections that I do, they're in there, and you have to love them. That is fine.
Exactly. And I think there's also the human element with that as well.
It's less robotic and less because I used to record to click tracks, and it's very it's very steady and repetitive and very solid all the way through. So recording live, there's more of a surprise element to things, which was really fun. So I've learned to embrace that more.
Well, definitely. Again, I think again, as humans, we're not perfect, and I think to just have that represent in the music, obviously don't try to mess up. It's not what I'm saying, but I think people, it has more soul to it with it.
Yeah, I agree actually.
So, there we go. I was I started that poorly, and now I wrapped it up very nice.
I loved how it wrapped up.
See, this is why I'm studying communications. All right, so now as we're starting to close out this interview, what are your plans for the rest of 2024? We're already in June, halfway through the year.
So we just recorded our next album, and we are going to be recording music videos, and I already shot the cover for the album, so a lot of it's going to be album release sort of vibes on our end, but we're playing another festival in Louisville. We've got a bunch of shows coming up. October, we're going to go on a little-ish tour, a little small one, but other than that, it's going to be making more music.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to checking out your next album. I really enjoyed your last album and the singles you've been releasing as well, and hopefully I can catch you at a show again.
Yeah, I would love to see you again.
Right on. Well, before we head out, what are the best places, if everyone watching and listening, to find you online?
So I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. I think it's called Deezer. I don't know about Deezer, but I'm on it apparently. Tidal, all under Iris Marlowe. I'm also on Instagram as @Iris_Marlowe because someone else has that name and I don't know why they won't let me have it. But I'm on Instagram and Facebook under Iris Marlowe as well. Literally, just type in Iris Marlowe and you'll find me.
I'll make it a little bit easier. I'll leave some links for Iris Marlowe in the description of this podcast. Iris, thank you so much for stopping by.
So nice meeting you.
Very nice to meet you as well. For Iris Marlowe, I'm your host as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching. This is Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.